Hello, good afternoon to all of us. Dear students, today we have to take into account the theory of first type of logic family known as TTL family, transistor logic family. As far as this transistor logic family is concerned, at the beginning we will study the important features provided by this particular family. The TTL family is basically a bipolar logic family. The basic element used in this particular family is nothing but BJT. Therefore, just here we say that basic element is nothing but a bipolar junction transistor. The TTL is a improved version of DTL family in which diode function is done with the help of transistor. Improved version of DTL family in which diode function is done by using transistor. Anyway, the enhancement of DTL family is nothing but a TTL family. The basic gate or function carried out in the TTL family is nothing but a NAND gate. Whatever may be the TTL ICs we are using, all they are constructed with the help of basic gate, that is nothing but a TTL NAND gate. In addition to that, the another important features are nothing but the TTL ICs will provide high operating speed. Then it is having moderate power dissipation. The fan out is high. Good noise humidity. Then the corresponding family will provide different types of outputs. As totem pole, open collector and tri-state. Variety of outputs are provided by the TTL ICs. Just here I have listed. The power supply requirement is nothing but a standard 5-volt power supply is sufficient for the operation of any TTL IC. In addition to that, the corresponding family is having low cost. Is the another feature, low cost. Anyway, if you look towards the TTL family, the TTL family possesses all these different types of features. Last thing you remember, very large functions are available. And due to these reasons, in most of the applications, the peoples are using the TTL ICs, commonly used family. TTL is nothing but a commonly used family. Now with these basic features, we have to proceed towards the next step. Since NAND gate is acting as basic building block of TTL family, we have to take into account the theory of TTL NAND gates. Or we may cancel this particular name now. Now I will take into account the standard TTL NAND gate. We have to explain it with reference to their circuit diagram, operation and truth table. A 2-input TTL NAND gate is constructed like this. This is a plus VCC line. You may call it as a 5 volt. Then some resistor value of 4 kilo ohm is used and is given to the input of multi-emitter transistor T1. I am calling this as input A and this as input B. These are the inputs. These are the inputs. The collector of this transistor is connected to the input of another transistor. I say that T2. I am calling it as T1, then this transistor as T2. Okay. The emitter is grounded through the resistance having a value of 1 kilo ohm. Here the value is 1.6 kilo ohm. Then here through a resistance of 130 ohm, another transistor is connected like this. I am calling this particular transistor as T3. Now through a diode D, this output is connected to the input of next transistor. I am calling this transistor as T4. And from here the output Y is taken, Y equal to A dot B, A ANDed with B, its complement. Anyway, here I am calling this as output. The value of resistor is 130 ohm. Anyway, this is the circuit diagram of 2-input TTL NAND gate. 2 input. A 2-input TTL NAND gate figure is shown like this. Now you can able to write the description regarding to it. Try to understand one by one. The TTL NAND gate is basically constructed with the help of multi-emitter transistor T1, along with the inputs A and B and 4 kilo ohm resistor. It acts like a 2-input AND gate. As far as description is concerned, T1 is a multi-emitter transistor. With 4 kilo ohm resistor It forms a two input AND gate. Rest of the circuit, T2, T3 and T4, all they will does the job of inverter. Rest of the circuit only inverts the signal. Therefore, overall circuit will function as a two input NAND gate. In this figure, T2 is doing the job of phase splitter. T2 will function as a phase splitter, while the transistors T3 and T4, they forms a totem pole output stage. T3 and T4 forms a totem pole output stage. The diode D prevents T3 from conducting. D3 prevents T3 from conducting. Anyway, with reference to the circuit diagram, you should be able to write some description in the examination also. Description is very simple. Just transistor T1 is a multi-emitter transistor having the inputs A and B. Along with 4 kilo ohm resistor, it forms a two input AND gate. Rest of the circuit does the job of inversion so that overall circuit will function as a two input TTL NAND gate. In this circuit, the transistor T2 is doing the job of phase splitting. The signals arriving at this place and this place, they are 180 degree out of phase. Then the output stage is constructed with the help of T3 and T4. This is known as totem pole output stage. Main characteristic of this stage is that at any time only one transistor is conducting. At that time the other transistor remain off. For example, when T3 is on, at that time T4 is off. Now in order to prevent the T3 from being conducting, a diode is inserted in between them, and Y is nothing but a output. That is nothing but Y equal to A ANDed with B its complement. I think everybody has understood the circuit diagram of two input TTL NAND gate and their description. Now we have to study the operation of this particular circuit. You may say working or operation. Working. I will summarize the working in a short form. You may explain the working by taking into account 4 different cases when A and B are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. But instead of that, I think the better way is initially I will take into account 3 different cases together under the heading that is when A or B or both are low. Have you understood this case? Whenever A or B or both A and B, they are low, means grounded. Under this situation, this is a PNP transistor. Therefore, whenever any one of the input or all inputs are low, the transistor T1 become on. This makes T1 on. Therefore, its collector voltage is low. Its collector voltage is low. Hence, the transistor T2 goes in cutoff. The transistor T2 goes in cutoff. Its collector is higher potential, which makes T3 on and T4 off. Now with T2 off, T3 become on, while T4 is off. Hence, the output Y, T3 conducts, T4 is off. Therefore, through this T3, you are getting the high output. Therefore, the output Y is high. Just to remember, for 3 different cases, that is 0, 0, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 1, 0, the output of the circuit is high. Similarly, I will take into account the last case, that is when both A and B are high. When both A and B inputs are high. What happens under this situation? Whenever A and B both are high, the transistor T1 is off. T1 is at cutoff. Its collector voltage is high, therefore it makes T2 on. T2 on. When T2 is on, its collector voltage is low, therefore T3 remain off. But current flows through this 1K resistor towards ground, therefore T4 become on. Whenever T2 is on, at the output T3 become off, while and T4 become on. Now T4 conducts. Whenever T4 conducts, the output line is connected towards ground. At that time, T3 is prevented from conducting through the diode D. D prevents T3 from being conducting. Since T4 is on, the output Y is equal to Y is low. In this way, you can able to explain the operation of TTL NAND gate very easily. I think there is no need to repeat each and everything. Students should able to draw the circuit diagram of standard TTL NAND gate 2 input, describe it in brief, and you can able to explain the working of it. Just I have told you. The working can be summarized in the form of a truth table, and already you know the truth table of this particular gate. Just I say that A and B are the inputs and Y is the output. A ANDed with B, its complement. Many times you have studied the truth table. 0, 0, output is 1. For 0, 1, again 1. For 1, 0, 1. And for 1, 1, the output is 0. You call it as a truth table. Okay. Remember that this is the TTL NAND gate which uses totem pole output stage. Therefore, TTL devices with totem pole output stage, they are constructed like this. There is another type of TTL device known as open collector TTL device. Just I will give the idea regarding to it. But before that, this totem pole output stage is having important feature that the output resistance or impedance offered is very low. Therefore, the propagation delay is small and you are getting high operating speed related with the TTL ICs whenever you are using totem pole devices. Now I will proceed towards the open collector TTL devices. Open collector TTL NAND gate. Nobody can ask in more detail, but just I will give the basic idea regarding to it from knowledge point of view. Open collector TTL NAND gate. Now you know the theory of totem pole TTL NAND gate. Just by removing this T3, the circuit you are getting is nothing but a open collector TTL NAND gate. It only uses 3 transistors, T1, T2. Here specially I have kept it at T4, but it is T3 actually. The T3 is absent, that is not used. The collector of T4 is open, is not connected anywhere. Therefore, the device is known as open collector TTL NAND gate. Remember that open collector devices does not come in operation until you can connect a resistor of kilo ohm across the outputs. Therefore, I will show by dotted line. One external resistor is connected across the device. We are calling it as external pull-up resistor. External pull-up resistor. In the previous gate, you are getting 0 or 1 output. 2 types of pull-ups are there, active pull-up and active pull-down. But as far as open collector devices are concerned, here you have to connect one external pull-up resistor in the order of few kilo ohm, like a 10 kilo ohm. Then only the gate will work properly. The gate will work properly. I think there is no need to explain the operation of it. As far as operation is concerned, for the first 3 cases, what happens, you know, T1, when A or B or both are low, T1 conducts, therefore collector is low. At that time, T2 doesn't conduct, and therefore the output is pulled to logic high, 0 to 1. Output goes from 0 to 1 through a pull-up resistor and is known as passive pull-up. That is known as passive pull-up. On the other hand, whenever A and B they are high, T1 become off. At that time T2 conducts, current flows, which makes the T4 on, and the output goes from high to low. High to low. This is known as active pull-down. Active pull-down. In this circuit, there is a passive pull-up but active pull-down. That is the basic difference between them. You have to remember. Question come in our mind, why there is need of open collector TTL devices? For that purpose, just I will list some advantages related with it. The first advantage is that the corresponding gate will provide direct wire or facility. Wire or wire and facility. Means what? You can connect the outputs of many open collector TTL devices through a single pull-up resistor at the output side, thereby forming a wire or wire and operation, thereby eliminating the hardware. There is no need to use the OR gates or AND gates. And the second great advantage is that open collector devices can drive the loads like lamps, relays. They can be directly driven. The loads like relays, lamps, etc. are directly driven by these devices, directly driven by the TTL devices. Even though these are the advantages, the drawback is that, what is the drawback now? At the output side, you are using a resistor of in the order of kilo ohm. Therefore, the propagation delay time increases and it reduces the operating speed. Therefore, the drawback is that these devices, they are having low operating speed as compared to totem pole devices. I think this information is sufficient as far as open collector TTL devices are concerned. In addition to that, another type of TTL devices are there. They are known as tri-state TTL devices. In addition to that, you may study the Schottky TTL devices. They are not included in our syllabus. Therefore, just I will skip that particular concepts. Now, I will proceed towards the last point corresponding to the TTL family, and it is nothing but we have to study shortly the TTL parameters. As far as TTL family is concerned, the number of parameters we have to take into account one by one, and they are nothing but, just I will list here. Values are not important, but the first parameter is nothing but the propagation delay. Propagation delay means TPD is in the order of 10 nanoseconds, 4 to 12 nanoseconds, but averagely we say that the corresponding devices are having a propagation delay of nearly 10 nanoseconds. Then all the ICs will require a power supply requirement of plus 5 volt. Supply is sufficient for their operation, standard supply. Then we say that power dissipation, PD value, and it is in the order of 20 milliwatt per gate. 20 milliwatt per gate. A single TTL gate will consume 20 milliwatt power for their operation. Low power dissipation actually. The noise margin value is in the order of 0.4 volt. TTL devices can tolerate the noise in the order of 0.4 volt. And one more advantage you have to remember, it is having high fan out, but the value is 10. Means a TTL gate, single gate, can drive you the similar 10 gates at the output without using the driving circuits. Now these are some important TTL parameters provided by the manufacturer. Related with input and output voltage and currents, some parameters are there. Therefore, I will talk on that also in brief. Voltage and current parameters. From knowledge point of view, just you see here I will represent the input voltages. Now the state will be represented as low, and for TTL this is 0 volt and this one is 0.8 volt. This is known as input voltage at low level. I will tell the purpose later on. Then if you consider the high state, high input voltage, then I think its value ranges from 2 volt to 5 volt. 2 volt to 5 volt. Okay. And this region is undefined. This is illegal actually. Anyway, input voltage levels here I have shown. Similarly, you can show the output voltage levels, output voltages, output voltage levels, input voltage levels. Here also you are getting low state and the values are 0 volt, and I think this one is 0.4 volt. Here there is a undefined region, undefined or illegal, okay, invalid. Better way you call it as invalid region, invalid. And here the output is treated as high. The range is 2.4 volt to 5 volt, 2.4 volt to 5 volt. Now just try to understand different voltages and current levels are there. Here I have called it as input voltage level. When the input is treated as low, we are calling it as VIL. This is VIL minimum, this one is having VIL maximum. Similarly, here I say that VIH minimum, VIH maximum. Related with the outputs, here I say that VOL minimum and VOL maximum. Similarly, VOH minimum and VOH maximum. Even though 4 parameters I have written, totally you are getting 8 values related with the voltages. Correspondingly, you are getting 8 different values related with the currents, and related with supply voltage, you know that 2 currents are there, ICCL and ICCH. While designing the circuits by using TTL ICs, these levels are playing an important role. Yesterday I have told you the noise immunity related with the circuit. 2 types of noise immunities are there, low noise immunity and high noise immunity. VNL is defined as VIL maximum minus here VIL maximum minus VOL maximum. Yesterday we have written this formula. Now if you put these values, you are getting 0.8 volt minus 0.4 volt, means you are getting a low noise immunity in the order of 0.4 volt. Similarly, you can able to prove the high noise immunity for the circuit is the difference between VOH minimum to VIH minimum, means 2.4 volt minus 2 volt, again you are getting 0.4 volt. What it indicates? TTL devices will tolerate the maximum noise, or noise margin value is nothing but 0.4 volt. In this way you remember the various TTL parameters. At the end of this chapter, we have to compare the performance of different families. From that point of view, these parameters are playing an important role. And lastly, from knowledge point of view, I will tell the TTL series. TTL series. Nobody can ask in the examination, but knowledge point of view, it is very important. TTL family will provide 2 different types of series. One is known as 7-4 and another is known as 5-4 series. Already I have told you 7-4 and 5-4 series are having the same functional nature, only difference is in the operating temperature range. 7-4 series ICs will operate in the range of 0 to 70 degrees Celsius, known as consumer and industrial range. On the other hand, 5-4 series temperature range is from minus 55 degrees Celsius to plus 125 degrees Celsius, known as military range. 2 series are there, and these two series are further classified into different sub-series. Just from knowledge point of view, I will enter that particular sub-series. Here there is a standard TTL. There is no need to write each and everything. 7,4, just here we say. Then next series is known as high power TTL. It is abbreviated as 74H, whatever may be the number, 2-digit or 3-digit. H indicate that it is a high power TTL. Then low power TTL will be abbreviated as 74L. L indicate that low power TTL IC. Then Schottky TTL is represented as 74S. 74S. S indicate that it is a Schottky TTL device. Then low power Schottky TTL. What it indicate is that 74LS. LS indicate that low power Schottky TTL device. Then next one is known as advanced Schottky TTL. This is known as 74AS. AS indicate that advanced Schottky. And last one is nothing but advanced low power Schottky TTL. And he is abbreviated as 74ALS. तर अशा 7-8 प्रकारच्या TTL सब सिरीज आहेत, हे आपण लक्षात ठेवलं पाहिजे. Anyway, depending upon our applications, whenever you are interested to operate the corresponding circuit at high speed, you can select the Schottky devices. For low power consumption, you can select the ICs from the low Schottky devices, and for high speed from 74H series. Only 74XX means, for example, 7402. If the IC has a number like this, it indicates that it is a standard TTL. Instead of that, 74H02 indicate that it is a high power TTL. In this way, whenever you are using TTL ICs in practice, these letters are having some significance. From that point of view, knowledge point of view, I say you have to remember the different types of TTL series. I think this information is sufficient, not completed, but at this level it is sufficient. Today we have studied the TTL logic family in brief. With this information, we will stop here only. Thank you for all of us.